Hey guys, it's me, Kimberly Clark, and I am back with my 4th anti-haul video, aka what I'm not gonna buy. What I'm not gonna buy. So I've gotten a lot of different requests for different products that people would like to see me talk shit about. I'm very interested in having this series be something that's actually helpful to you, so please keep letting me know what you are interested in buying, what you are having trouble kind of resisting because of the marketing hype, or things that you think are just so superly overhyped and crazy. Just let me know like what's going through your head, because we are all in this together and we can be smart consumers. A couple of people have requested this type of product to be included in these anti-haul videos, and since there are so many of this type of product out there on the market today, I decided to devote this entire video to this one type of product, that product being highlighters. Listen, now we're not talking these little Sharpie Dayglow highlighter pens here. We're talking expensive, sparkly, glitter, powder, fancy stuff that you put on your face, and boom, you got cheekbones all of a sudden, all that kind of good stuff. There are so many highlighters now. Highlighting is such a huge, trendy aspect of people's makeup routines now that companies are just capitalizing off of that hype so much. And the bottom line with highlighters is you don't really need a ton of them. You actually only need a couple that really work for you and your skin tone. But since this is such a popular type of product, companies are amping up the marketing budget, spending the money, trying to get you to spend the money. And I'm here to help you resist the highlighter urge to splurge. If this is your first time watching one of these videos, please click right here and watch the part of my first anti-haul video where I explain what this series is, I give you a couple of disclaimers, and I describe kind of the scope and intention of this series. I don't want you to think that I am just being a crazy mean mofo sitting here just dissing brands left and right. And I don't want you to think that I am just talking out of my ass. I've actually researched all of these products. I've put in the time and effort and have aggregated a bunch of data to give you kind of my opinion in order to help you make an informed decision. Anyway, all that said, let's go. So the first highlighter product that I'm going to be talking about is this. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Skin Twinkle Lighting Palette. Now, this is part of Tarte's new spring collection. Now, there are a lot of highlighter palettes out there. That's a very trendy thing to do. The first ones that I really saw were some of those Becca limited edition palettes, like the Afterglow or the one with the Champagne Glow palette and stuff like that. And, you know, there is immense value in having multiple highlighter shades, as you can see in my gradient highlight tutorial video. But I gotta say, this palette really just doesn't do it for me. I mean, these shades, they're not really mind-blowing, life-altering highlight shades. They're kind of very subtle highlights. They're very silica-y, like silicone-y, smooth, kind of gentle highlights. But at the same time, they're also kind of dull. I don't know. There's nothing about this palette that makes these shades worth $42, which is a lot of money to spend on highlight. You will never ever go through all of this product. There's so much of it. You'll never need this much product for your personal makeup routine. And you know, the shades they're just a little too deep for a skin tone like mine, which is you know, I'm very, very fair. So if you have very, very fair skin, this really isn't the product for you. If you have deeper skin, this really isn't the product for you either, because it kind of is this one weird kind of light to medium range skin tone situation. Honestly, you probably have something that's better than this. This is not going to be your holy grail highlighter. It just ain't. Let's not pretend it's going to be. I don't need it and I'm not going to buy it. Sorry, Tarte. The next highlighter product is this. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit. So Anastasia last year came out with these insane, wildly popular highlighters that have that like beautiful kind of like old Hollywood embossing on them, like So Hollywood and Starlight and Spotlight or whatever, all these like, different range of highlighters kind of to rival some of the Becca shimmering skin perfectors. That seemed to be like the intention. And, I've heard mixed reviews about those highlighters as well. These highlighters, however, I've definitely heard that like if the Spotlight, the individually packaged Anastasia highlighters are similar to the Becca highlighters, this palette is like a little similar to the Tarte ones that I just talked about. They're a little more subtle. They're kind of, natural highlight. So like this is definitely not the palette that you would get if you want like that boom, bam, unicorn sparkle in your face highlight. However, it is also not the palette that you would get if you want that very subtle natural highlight. Why? Because you get 4 shades of highlight in this palette that you will absolutely not use all of. This palette is perfect for makeup artists that would work on multiple clients with multiple skin tones, but for you and your one skin tone, maybe 2, maybe you tan, the shade range in each of these palettes, there are 2 kind of shade ranges of these palettes, but even within one palette, the shade range is so vast that yes, one palette would accommodate more skin tones, but you would never use all of the other shades that don't match your skin tone. Maybe 1 or 2 would match your skin tone, but the rest you would never use. If these shades were sold individually, then yeah, maybe that would be like a good investment if you want like a very nice subtle highlight. But honestly, the hype of like the whole like highlighter palette thing, it's just like going overboard. For you and your own personal use, you're not gonna really get use out of 4 very different highlight shades in a palette just because it's cool. I'm sorry, Anastasia. I don't need it and I'm not gonna buy it. Sorry. Okay, next is this goddamn thing. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold. This product is so fucking cocky, so freaking conceited, that they don't even tell you what it is in the name. They're just like, it's the bar of gold. You should know what that means. And it's like, then you like look at it and like, oh my god, it looks like a freaking real bar of gold. Oh my god, like that is so annoying to me as like someone who's like critical of consumerism and capitalism and stuff, to just see something that's like, fancy. Is this product gold? No. No, it's not. No, it's not real gold. It's not gold. Is there even real gold in it? No, there's not. This is $42 for a chunk of eyeshadow, basically. The packaging of this is crap. Cardboard. Every single person that's received this in the mail was disappointed by it. No question about that. The way that the product is affixed to the packaging, also crap. Tara Babies described ordering this product 3 times. The first 2 times, the chunk of the gold had fallen out of the box. Like, what the hell? For $42? Seriously? They can't get glue that works? And then the other thing is, like, this is a gold highlighter. Everybody got one. Everybody got one. You got Laura Geller Gilded Honey. You got Oh Darlin' by MAC if you were crazy enough to like order that. You got e.l.f.'s Giddy Gold highlighter. Don't get me wrong. People love Charlotte Tilbury. Like, people love their lipsticks, her lip cheats. They love them. The lip pencil, love them. I've never tried any of them, so I can't speak to that. All I can speak to is that this bar of gold thing is bullshit. It annoys me. It just annoys me. It's a bar of gold. It's like, look how rich I am. Look how fancy I am. No. No. Get over yourself, Charlotte. Just get over it. Put it in a plastic pan, cut the price in half, and just call it gold eyeshadow. Done. Okay, next is this. This is Chanel's Perles et Fantasies. Pearls and Fantasies palette. This is like a highlighter blush combo duo. So a couple years ago, Chanel released the Camellia de Plume highlighter, which was this beautiful kind of like white pearly cast highlighter. Basically like Becca's Shimmering Skin Perfector pressed in pearl, but like 2 years ahead, or a year and a half ahead or whatever. That shit sold out so fast. It was $70. It was crazy. Everyone loved it. People that have it still rave about it. They love it. It's like one of their favorite highlighters. I missed it. So ever since then, I've been looking at the Chanel highlighters being like, what's the next one? When's the next one? When's the next one that's going to be like that beautiful pearl shade, but even better? When's the next one where it's going to be like that perfect goldy, like white cast highlight? Like, when is that going to happen? When's that going to come out? Then I saw this one and I was like, ooh, okay, I mean, this is close. Like, it's like a kind of pretty, like, pewtery pearl highlight shade. And then you get this, like, little blush, too. Ooh, interesting. Very fascinating. Nice. Maybe, like, 2 for the price of 1. Bullshit. It's $70. Like, nothing justifies this price for one little plastic rectangle. Nuh-uh, nothing. But you know, I was like hopeful of this and I was like, is this gonna be the first Chanel face makeup product that I get? Oh my God. I was at the Chanel store yesterday in Soho and I happened to see the Perles a Fantasy little highlight blush palette. Swatched it, beautifully smooth, very smooth, like that nice, like kind of dimethicone silicone smooth, you know, formula that like you would expect from like such a high-end product. Then I was like rubbing it on my hand and I was like, ooh, very shimmery, very sparkly, totally in your face, like very like not natural highlight, very like boom, bam, bop, which look at me, I like that kind of shit. But I was rubbing it and I was like, oh my God, there's like a lot of glitter in here. And then I was like, oh my God, there's like a lot of glitter now all over my freaking hand. The glitter in that highlight is like, it's not like enormous and chunky, but it is there and it will go everywhere. And frankly, if you are doing something with your highlighting and contouring where you are like actually changing your face shape, which is, you know, the basis of all highlighting and contouring, if you have glitter fallout going all over your face, like onto your contour, it's gonna actually like diminish your contour and like kind of make all of that effort that you put in to chisel your face out kind of moot, you know? I wish there was like more binding agent in this or whatever to make it stick more, or like, I guess you could use like a Fix Plus or some type of setting spray or something to affect, but I'm like $70 for a highlighter that you need to like use like glitter glue to stick to your face? No. Glitter fallout in a $70 highlighter, that's Chanel. No, sorry. I don't need it and I'm not gonna buy it because that is that is bullshit. That is crazy. If you need to like have like explosion unicorn all over your face, your clothes, your vanity, whenever you do your makeup, then this is the product for you. But you know what? You can get that same effect by buying some Martha Stewart glitter at the craft store and just throwing it everywhere. That's all I'm gonna say. Done. Next. Moving on. Okay, so then going from crazy high-end to drugstore. This is the Wet n Wild Illuminating palette. This is a palette that Wet n Wild has had for a while, but they just recently promoted it and like made it larger, like new packaging and stuff. So this is 4 little shimmer strips. It's kind of similar to like a Bobbi Brown shimmer strip thing, just in terms of concept. You have like 4 shades that you can either combine together to make like the perfect highlight shade or use like different colors or whatever. A lot of people have been asking for me to include drugstore products in these videos, and I've been hesitant to do so because drugstore products are often not marketed with the same type of hype. Like the media marketing component of drugstore products just is not as invasive as high-end makeup. So I'm like, I don't really need to resist it as much. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, you know, like there is a thing about drugstore makeup where because it's so affordable, a lot of people, especially if you have like a tendency for like makeup hoarding or something, you just buy way too much of it. Like you're like, oh my God, I got such a good deal. It was so cheap. Like it was only $5. Like I bought it. I bought 6 of them. I bought every shade. And then like before you know it, you've got like 700 drugstore eyeshadow palettes that you've never ever used. Like what the hell? Anyway, so I was like, okay, I guess I should include some drugstore products, just if only to like let people know that like, yeah, you actually don't need that shit either. So the reason specifically that I don't need this palette is that I know that the larger packaging has made it better and easier for you to get your brush into each of those individual strips, but that's still not enough for me. Like I need separate pans, I need stuff, like if I'm doing really specific stuff with my highlight, like a gradient, like I really want to make sure that I can get those products isolated. I also really want a product that is not like glittery, like the Chanel. This is the same type of thing. It's like smooth, but it's like very like chunky glitter explosion process. And like I said, for the same reasoning with the Chanel, that really kind of would make my contouring work kind of, you know, antithetical. Like it would not make it worthwhile for me to do that. And so, you know, I spend a lot of time, take pride in my contouring, like it a lot. I don't want to suddenly have sparkles all over it, making my hollow cheeks look like a disco ball. So I'm not going to buy this. You know what? The Wet n Wild highlighters, I love that highlighter. I talked about it in my summer favorites video from the Color Icon Trio, that limited edition one. Love that. I love some of the highlighter formulas from Wet n Wild. I wish they would just market them individually, you know, like, because if that highlighter were sold individually, it would be perfect. It would be a holy grail highlighter for me. It would probably be like $4 or something. This ain't, and it's not going to be. I'm not going to buy it. I don't need it. Bye-bye. This next product is the Hourglass Strobing Powder. Now, a lot of people have talked to me about Hourglass powder products on my channel. I included that Ambient Lighting Edit palette, I think that's what it's called, in my first anti-haul video. It was Holiday, that 6-pan, you know, tiny palette with the quarter-size pans. You know, and a lot of people were, like, have raved to me about just the actual quality of the Hourglass shadows and how worthwhile they are. And I was like, ugh, okay, honestly, but like for me and my drag and like my beat and the kind of like heightened dramatic level of it, I was like, ambient lighting powders don't seem like they would work for me. Just in the same reason that the Guerlain, like Perles, like were not my cup of tea. I don't think the ambient lighting powders would be either. Then this product came out, the Hourglass Strobing powder. And I was like, oh, okay, it seems like this is like finally the Hourglass product for drag queens. Like it's like a in your face, boom, bam, bright, shimmery highlight. Let's try it out. So I was at Sephora yesterday and I was swatching a bunch of stuff. You know, this like what's part of my research tour. Just go into Sephora, do a lot of swatching. Just because you're there doesn't mean you have to buy anything. I didn't buy anything. Go figure. When was the last time you went into Sephora and didn't buy anything? I challenge you to go into a Sephora and not buy anything. How about that? That's part of your homework for becoming a smart consumer. Just do it. Just see what happens. So anyway, so I was in the Sephora swatching, and I was swatching like other highlighters and stuff, and I swatched the Hourglass Strobing powder, and I was like, ooh, it's getting a little too sparkly for me. And then I was like, you know, am I crazy? Like, am I just like not remembering the highlighters that I love well? Like, are all highlighters like this crazy sparkly and like ridiculous with the glitter fallout and whatever? Like, what the heck? So I went over to Becca and I swatched those highlighters. I swatched Moonstone, which is like one of my favorites. And no, Becca's formula has this amazing thing where it's like super sparkly, but there's no chunky glitter in it. Like, I don't know how they do it. It's not just like a metallic-y sheen, like a slickness. It's like sparkly and multi-dimensional, but it's not like glitter falling everywhere. The strobing powders were a little bit of glitter falling everywhere. I was like rubbing it on my hand. I was just like applying my highlighters wet maybe would stop that from happening, but I was like, again, no, for $38, which is how much an Hourglass strobing powder costs. Oh no, I need that shit to stick to my face without me worrying about it or using another product. Anyway, so I gotta say no go on the strobing powders too. That Hourglass is half empty, my friend. This last product I want to talk about is not exactly a highlighter, but it does fit in with that trend of like luminous, highlight, dewy skin, whatever. This is the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. Tatcha is a Japanese luxury beauty brand. They make primers, moisturizers, this kind of finishing spray product also. This bottle of Dewy Skin Mist is $48. You get about a third the amount of product as you get in a bottle of MAC Fix Plus, which is, I think, like $15 to $20. Not to mention any of the other kind of like dewy setting sprays you can get like in the drugstore. NYX, I think e.l.f. might have a dewy one. There's lots of skin mists that are not, you know, claiming to be setting sprays that make your makeup stick forever, like, or a mattifying one, but that actually just give you moisture back into the skin, make everything blend together and look more natural and have your makeup not look like makeup, but look like natural. This type of product is really dangerous, and this type of product kind of exacerbates what, you know, is a real true thing, which is the placebo effect. Placebos, if you don't know what they are, placebos are things that allow you to feel the benefits of something without any of the actual products or ingredients or things that really make a difference. For example, like if you take a sugar pill and you think it's an aspirin, the placebo effect might make your headache go away, but there are not actually any drugs affecting your headache. You know what I'm saying? So the placebo effect is real. It's totally legit, but it's the placebo effect. You know what else is legit? $48 that you just spent on a bottle of freaking Japanese water. I have no doubt that the people that on YouTube that use this religiously and spray this freaking $48 spray bottle on their face, I have no doubt that they actually feel better because of it. No question. I believe it. They like believe that this is doing something. It's beautifying them. It's making them feel better. That's what it's all about. Like you feeling good about yourself, right? Here's my problem though. This is $48. The reason that these people feel good about this is not because they see results, or you can see results when you look at this, when you look at their skin before and after. You really can't. Like it's so subtle and weird. Like you're like, is it even working? What's happening? But the placebo is taking over so much that it's making you be like, oh my God, yes, they do. Their skin looks so beautiful and expensive and fancy. And that's where my problem is that the quality is directly correspondent to the amount of money that you spent on this. My interest in beauty and beauty products is like when the product makes you feel better about yourself, not because you spent money on it, but because it's actually doing something to you that makes you feel better. Now, that might not be something that anyone else notices. That might be something that just is for you, like a powder or something that makes you feel good. But if it's only doing that because of the amount of money you spent on it, ooh, like doesn't that just creep you out a little bit? Like to know that like this, you're like, oh yeah, I could get the NYX Dewy Mist, but like this is 20 times as much money as it. It must be better. It would make me feel better to use it. And honestly, just that fulfillment is an ultimately empty one. It's not sustainable. It's not going to keep you being happy. Money is not going to do that for you. It's just not going to. Spending money on something, on a freaking placebo mist from Japan, will maybe make you feel good in the moment. It might give you confidence when you walk out that door knowing that you have $48 worth of mist on your face. But is it going to actually like make you feel better and more comfortable with yourself and loving yourself and thinking you're beautiful in a deep way? No. You know, I don't want to get all zen and weird on you guys, but like I do believe that like if you can separate money from happiness, your life's going to be better. Like that's not like a radical, liberal, weird Buddhist statement to make, is it? Like I think that's pretty practical, and pretty sure like every philosophy and religion and life coach and YouTube channel and whatever would agree with that like the less you can kind of rely on money and things to kind of make you happy, the more frequently you'll just be happy, and the more kind of genuine that happiness will be, and the more you will be able to sustain it. I'm sorry, Tatcha, I'm sure you're great products, I'm sure you're lovely and beautiful, but you're a luxury brand, and I don't think it's fair for anyone out there to say that this product is doing something more than this luxury, placebo, wistful, imaginative thing. I'm sorry about it. Listen, just get yourself a fancy vintage perfume bottle, put some saline in it, spritz that on your face, and you'll feel just as fancy. I promise you. Okay, oh my God, that was it. Those were all the highlighters and glowy, highlighting, illuminating products for me to talk about in this, my 4th anti-haul video. A couple videos ago, I did all about matte lips. My next all about video is going to be highlighters. So if you are leaving this video feeling like a little bummed about like all the highlighter hate out there and how much like, you know, all these highlighters that I don't like and all this stuff, and you just want some like good old highlighter lovin', stay tuned because my next video is going to be my all about series for highlighters. I'll show you my top 5 highlighters. I'll give you some little tips and tricks for use in highlighting. And I think it'll restore your love of the highlight if this has crushed any of your glowy unicorn sparkle dreams a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out my other videos. Give this video a little thumbs up if you enjoyed it and you want to see more of these videos. Please tell me below if you disagree with me, if you like some of these products, or if you have different ways of using them you think that I should try. If you want me to try other products, or if you want me to anti-haul other products, let me know. Tell me things that have been driving you crazy with all the marketing and stuff, and you want me to just kind of like undercut that stuff and just break the marketing spell and just let you be clear-headed about it again. I will do that. I'm here for you. That is my job. I'm Kimberly Clark. Bye. Oh, I got some sweat. Sweat, the natural highlight. Look at this wig. It's getting there. Getting a little more bird's nesty. I'm happy about that. Go big or go home. That's what I say.